Hey, what's going on? Today's a nice resurgence win. It's my first resurgence solos win. Also, I am sick, so sorry if you hear me clearing my throat or whatever, you know. So I decided, I was watching Teep play, you know, TP the streamer, and I don't know this map that well. I've played some ranked on it, and I really don't like resurgence very much. But I was watching him, and he was in this ground zero area where I am, and he was just pretty much patrolling the whole area, just, you know, fending people off the whole game. So I decided, hey, you know what? I need to learn the map better for some ranked anyway, so I can keep climbing, because my map knowledge of this map is not good. So, and I didn't play it in the original game either a few years ago, so I don't really know anything about it. So here we are. I'm dropping ground zero. I've got this, I think it's DG56, right? Is that the burst? I can't read that because I have my some software covering that, but my voiceover stuff. That was such a bad gunfight. When I won that, I was like, dude, I don't know about this game. Like, I already thought the game was chalked just from that, because I was like struggling to get those kills, which, well, struggling to hit those shots, I should say. So I got this 3-burst thing. Now I get the down. I'm not gonna hesitate here because, you know, everybody spawns in with a self, right? So I'm not going to hesitate. I'm also not going to use my primary weapon to finish him off, but I got to get rid of that thing. And get rid of that, and then I go, oh yeah, SVA. Also pretty meta still. It hasn't been touched for a while, and I like the feel of it. You know, this particular one here with the 30-round mag's not the best, but it still kills quickly, and it is solos, so I don't have to worry about other people coming. This one is just a classic. Yep. See how I hesitated a second before I came around to the right? I didn't even replate. I was just going to keep the pressure on him because he's broken and he's probably going to ego that, which he did. And so I sprinted right, but I waited a second because if I sprint out exactly right, he might be expecting me to be there. So I hesitated for like a half second, which if he's a good player is going to make him be like, oh, he's coming back left, and then he's going to be looking the wrong way. So I'm just kind of upgrading my ground loot as I go. That's an AMR9, which is definitely meta and what I've been using for a little while now. I don't believe I use it in this game, because this game's from a few days ago, but no, I've been using it the last few days, because it's just really good. Same thing here. I'm not gonna replate because he thinks he has the pressure on me, so he has the advantage. And I mean, you know, truth be told, he probably does. I'm broken and I'm just sitting there. But I mean, you know, sometimes you just gotta know when to do that, when to not do that. So in that case, it just felt like, hey, he's going to push me. Like, if I try to play it up, then I'm not going to be ready for him. So now I'm going for this guy. Barely got him there, huh? Barely. So, I mean, we're rocking and rolling here. I've already got 5 kills. I mean, I don't get, you know, my average in Resurgent things is only like 3 or 4. It's my average per game. So, of course, that includes those games where you drop and get killed twice and get no kills. And it's over. But, you know, to be close to my average is pretty good. So now this position here, I take this thing on the rock, because guess what? There's no cover between me and where I thought he was. And I'm keeping this rock for cover here. I'm going to stay, and now I'm going to push up. I'm just going to grab what he has. I thought maybe that was a smoke, but it was just the ATV smoking. So now I'm going to hesitate for a second again. I don't know what the cover is. Those are just bad shots right there. I don't remember where this was in my night. I can't remember if I was like early on and not warmed up yet, or maybe I'd kind of already passed the peak. But yeah, so this is a cafe, I guess this is called, right? It's still part of ground zero, but one of the guys I play with and his group lands here all the time, and it's a good spot. You know, there's not usually enough loot if there's like 4 of you, but you know, now I can hear him here. That's why or I thought I could, at least. So after a second, it's just kind of like, hey, you know, I'm going to reposition. I'm going to see what I can get here. And because I've been doing work, I mean, I got 6 kills already with ground loot weapons. I was just like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother. Like, I'm just going to, not going to get a loadout. I'll just get the UAV. Got the loadout, you know, somewhere over there. See that little jump I did? That jump was to peek, so I could see if he was coming for me or not, or if he was challenging me again or not. That's one thing that I see a lot of people doing. I heard early on in my Warzone days that that's what you should be doing, and I wasn't doing it enough. Guy got me. Freaking got me. But I wasn't doing that enough. So when you're plating, if you're not looking at your surroundings while you're plating, it's a wasted opportunity. You're basically like putting your face. It's literally the same as if you just closed your eyes. If you just wherever you were putting in plates, you just went nope, and you just closed your eyes. So yeah, okay. So Stalker HRM still my favorite. Iron sight on this thing allows me to use an extra attachment, and in this case, see, so I'm looking down. I'm like bunker buster. I'm probably dead here, but I'm gonna pick up that smoke along the way. I'm gonna fly off. We'll just reposition a different part of the map here. As soon as I can get down out of the air from that, I will. And plate it up. Wasn't sure which way he's coming, so I'm just going to throw a smoke to be safe and get out of there. And guy behind me again, so same, I'm going to take some cover. Thought maybe he was pushing, but just sort of covering off my angle. You know, I mean, stuff like that. That's stuff you learn as you go. You know, the more you play, you learn, like, hey, I'm just going to throw this grenade at the ground because this guy's going to push around the corner and he's not going to be expecting that. By the time he comes around the corner and realizes that there's a grenade there, he can't really go anywhere. And even if it doesn't kill him, now he's super weak and I just re-challenge and that's it. So the game does slow down a little bit from here. You know, this is part of why my PR is 10. And in Resurgence, I think it's 12 or 13. I really consider that like different. I don't consider that the same as like a BR. Because Resurgence is a different game mode. You know, you could easily get 15 kills in a Resurgence. But, so yeah, so the reason I don't have like higher PRs is because I don't push the pace. Like a game like this where I'm doing this well, I should be pushing the pace. I should be UAV and just flying, trying to get on guys. You know what I mean? But I'm kind of playing it a little more casual here. Beautiful, huh? Great snipe. Get the one. Get the full there. As you saw, I was out on that platform, but not behind cover. And as soon as I saw him, I instinctively repositioned behind the rock because that's cover. So, worst case scenario, he starts beaming me. I just go prone. And now I'm safe. I replate. If he starts pushing me, I throw a smoke and get out of there. But in this case, you know, I'm going to pick up that smoke, I think. Hopefully. Hopefully so. So at this point, I'm just looking for something. I see that the gas is moving in. I want to get this guy's loot real quick. You know, you want to keep the economy going, so... I mean, I don't know what he was doing there. That was just weird. This one, I'm kind of screwed. You know, I'm even like, oh, I crawl behind the bush. But as soon as I got here, I realized, like, well, if he doesn't see me, he knows I'm behind the bush, so all he has to do is shoot. So... You know, sometimes when you regain like this, you gotta make a play that's aggressive. And in this case, my aggressive is like, hey, there's no loadouts in. If I don't go back for my stuff, I have nothing. So yeah, sure, he had me pinned down, but as I'm floating here, I'm looking, and I don't see him where he was, which was on that cliff, just kind of around the left, like around my left hand. And I'm just double checking that again to make sure, and I don't see him. So here we go, I'm gonna pick up all my stuff. You kind of spam at first there for a second, but as soon as I got that smoke, I was like, oh, I'm throwing that down. I don't want to get stuck here without, you know, without all my stuff. I'm trying to find my other gun here, gotta burn that second smoke. There's my sniper, there's a self, and I'm just like, hey, this smoke's about to run out. I gotta get out of here. Now, what I'm looking for is my Semtex, and I can't find one. And I knew there was a durable there because when I had flown over there earlier, I saw it on the ground. So I didn't see it right there when I came back because I already knew it was there. So, you know, now I got everything back except my Semtex. And that will come back to haunt me later when we get to the end game and we face this riot shield guy. But for now, it's not an issue right now. I mean, I love Semtex. I probably could have grabbed the control charge or something there, but I was more concerned with, like, clearing my path. You know, there's many times in my career playing Battle Royale, whether that's all the way back to PUBG back in, you know, whatever it was, 2017 or whatever that came out, which was my first BR game. When they go back to there's plenty of times where I was too worried about trying to get the best loot possible, and I ended up dying because I just wasn't paying 100% attention to the game. I was focused on looting a little bit, and so that's something I've just started to correct recently because it's always been a thing. But when you play solo, you can be a lot more aware of your surroundings. You're not distracted by talking to people and having to worry about what they're doing, all that kind of stuff. So now right there, I thought that was a grenade. I was like, oh, there's a grenade. I'm lucky. But no, it was a tac decoy or a decoy grenade. So I knew, even though I wasn't picking up like a drill charge, for example, I knew as I was going through there, I was like, okay, I don't have a Semtex. So when I had a moment that was clear, I was like, oh, okay, now I can get, you know, I can see that other smoke, so I'm going to grab that. Don't know what that guy's doing, but I got to get out of there. I'm getting shot from somewhere else. So again, see, right here, I'm peeking. So now I know he went to the left. So if I hadn't done that, if I just played it up behind the cover and went to look, I would have no idea where this guy went. But now I know he went up that way because I used the cover to peek. And I mean, you only want to peek like a really light amount. You don't want to get sniped in the face because it appeared like he was sniping. But I knew that that's the direction he went. And so now I'm just trying to clear this lower part with me. And this is one of the areas I'm not familiar with. And if you... I don't know. I would put myself in like the kind of late rotating category. So because of that, I pretty much always end up having to rotate through that lower part, ground zero, at some point. And I never really know where I'm going or what I'm doing just because, like, I'm not familiar with it. So... got myself a self-revive. You know, instead of a UAV, I grabbed a self-revive. I mean, that's, you know, that's a personal preference. I probably would have grabbed the UAV up until, like, this week. I've been watching a lot more Huskers, and, man, I'm sorry, dudes. Watching a lot more Huskers, and he, you know, I see him going there and buy self-revive first. And especially when you're sniping, the range that you're going to be engaging guys at, like, a self-revive makes a big difference. You know what I mean? So... I saw that guy in there, and he was going to peek me, and I was just like, yep, here we go. And that's when I, like, see, instinctively, I threw that, right? I thought I had a grenade, but it was a throwing star. So now he's gone. He's underneath. But I see him getting shot by somebody else. So I'm like, yeah, all right, well, here we go. Let's rotate left. And this is where things take a turn, okay? This is where it all starts. And I go, no. And in this moment, I'm like, yeah, no grenades, run. So I gotta bail. I'm trying to use this thing. This mosquito. Of course, it blows up on the wall. That's awesome. He puts down a precision on me. Look at that. Terrible, dude. Luckily, I had the self. Throw that smoke real quick. And I went this way because it went down that way. So I wasn't planning on coming over this way, but... And especially now, I'm like using my durable, trying to... I wasn't sure where he went. So I was, you know... Again, that'll come back to help me later too, but... For the moment... Wasn't sure where he went. Now I see him again. Or saw the gun at least. And it's just like... Yeah, I'm just like, nah, I gotta get out of here. I heard this other guy over this direction. Get him. Here's this other guy, and there's only two of us now. Or there's three of us now. So he goes for the right shoulder. He takes the aggressive play and goes for him, and I'm just behind because I'm late rotating a little bit. And now it's just me and him. And yeah, it's a problem. He threw that stun. He's got that rock. I have him fleshed. But notice how patient I'm playing this. Like, I have a very small piece of cover, and I know I have to move. So as soon as he gives me the opportunity to move, I move. Now, if he had held that cover, he could have held me out. But he decided not to hold that cover, probably because I broke him. So now I'm just playing it slightly slower because I still have the gas mask. Now it breaks, and he stuns me again. But luckily, I'd positioned myself properly to get behind this cover. So now I see him. Now at this point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I got nothing here. All I have is this and my sniper. And at some point right here, I look, and I'm like, okay, my mask is done. And actually, I don't even realize that I'm not full-plated right now. This is so lucky, but then I can't capitalize on it. Watch. Oh, man. He's broken. And again, instinctively, I throw the grenade, but I have a throwing star instead. It was total instinct right there. I like, in the moment. And so now I rotate this way. I don't see him. I'm plating behind this to make sure that I'm safe. Either I can dip out right or left if I need to. And I'm going to have to challenge him at some point. So I'm still trying to, like, get an angle here. Like, if he gives me a knee, he gives me a hip, whatever. But watch, as soon as this gas touches my back, I'm just like, well, I gotta go. Right there, I'm like, yep, gotta go. So I jump over top of him, get him a little bit, I jump away, I keep my distance. I'm staying back. I'm sliding. I jump back again. I jump back again. So I jumped back twice and got him, man. Like, ooh, boy. That was a good win, in my opinion. I mean, definitely the second half was slower than the first half, but, man, dude, riot shielders to me are just... See, look, again, I jump back, and I jump back. So I kept my distance from him. I charged in and almost, like, baited out a swing from him and then swapped and jumped back. But, dude, I mean... Dude, fighting riot shielders is just so hard. It really is. If you don't have a piece of equipment, if you don't have a grenade, my favorite is Semtex, of course. I mean, I use Semtex anyway because I feel like they have the most, not the most utility. They're almost equal to frags, but they take like no thought. You know, a frag you have to cook it, or you have to throw the angle because it's gonna bounce. If you throw a Semtex more than like 30 feet, it's just gonna blow up wherever it lands. So you don't have to count for bounces. You don't have to account for cooking. You don't have to account for any of that. You just chuck it and go. But the added benefit is riot shielders. And, I mean, you saw me instinctively throw it at him. What I would have done is I would have thrown the Semtex at the ground to his left and then just bum rushed the straight up at the rock and run up to the top of the rock and shot down on top of his head, wherever he was. But either way, I ended up getting it done. And this was a very satisfying win. And I can tell that I'm winning more often now because when I won this one, I didn't immediately celebrate. I just took a deep breath and was like, whoo-wee! Got away with that one. Like, thinking how much worse it could have been playing against a riot shielder. You know, because, I mean, they're just... Dude, they ruin the game, man. Every time I see one, I'm just like, oh my... Like, come on, bro. Like, why do you... I get that people like to play it as, like, a troll. And, you know, I have played with riot shield in multiplayer, you know, half a dozen times just, you know, just because. But it's just such a... Like, I don't understand what you're doing when you play with that. And try to win games. I mean, it's not a competitive... I don't know, man. So, whatever. I'm not going to judge someone else for using it, but I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I hate fighting them. So, that was a satisfying one. Especially with no equipment. Like, that gives me a lot more confidence going into other fights, knowing that I do have equipment with me. So, anyway, appreciate it, guys. A little bit shorter. Resurgence games are shorter overall in general. But, thank you guys for checking it out. We've had some good support recently. It's been awesome. I appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.